back to the Twilight thing, do you think the last Twilight movie that comes out in November, do you think, because right now Hunger Games is the top gross movie of 2012, do you think Breaking Dawn Part 2 is going to overstep that, or do you think...
No. I think that the last time, I've gone to see all these movies at the midnight appearing. And the last Twilight movie, Breaking Dawn Part 1, my theater literally had maybe 15 people, max. And you have to remember, back when Eclipse and New Moon were coming out, these things were packed. They had multiple theaters all set up for this one movie. Packed full. And people had to wait until the next day because they couldn't get tickets.
And I think that goes back to what we were talking about an overbearing franchise of getting too many movies into, one span of time.
Right.
Because Twilight came out, the first one, 2008-ish, maybe?
Yes.
And then
New
Moon was like a year.
Just in high school.
Then New Moon came out, a year or two after?
Nope.
Or when did it come out?
One of them came out in November 21st of 2008, I think it was. And then the next one came out in June 20...
Oh, so a couple months later.
Like 6 months later. And then another one came out in...
That next November, which was the fourth one. No. Anyways, they were all...
Was the third one. There's going to be 5 total.
Really?
But anyway, yes.
Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse.
Breaking Dawn
5,
Part 1, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure one came out in mid-June, July.
But you said the first 3 were packed. I think that goes back to the franchise where you're overbearing your
That's
fan
why
base.
they were so bad. Because they didn't really have any plot. They didn't follow the storyline the way that they're supposed to.
But movies do that to books, too. They don't
Which
follow
is
the
terrible.
storyline of
The only ones they never really did to were the Harry Potter ones, because you had these fans that would get angry, would not show up and spend all that money. If the fans knew that they weren't going to follow the books, they wouldn't go watch them. Why do you think they're not going to watch the Twilight movies? It doesn't follow everything.
Do you think the characters in Twilight have a fan following like Harry Potter characters?
Do they have a what?
Like a dedicated fan following?
No.
Do you think that's why Harry Potter, say, was better than Twilight? Even though they're completely two different kind of movies.
Yes.
It's just they have character, because you hear a bunch about Harry Potter, about Jacob, about all the characters that you can just say the first name of and you'll know it. But do you think the Harry Potter characters are much more prominent than they are the other 3 in Twilight?
Well, you have to consider this. No offense to anybody who likes Kristen Stewart, but I do not like her acting skills.
That's a future episode, by the way, worst actors later this season.
Right, and she is actually very terrible. She has one look, and it's
Do you think that's her, or do you think it's the director or producers, whoever, telling her to do this?
Because I've seen it in multiple films that she's been in. She only has one look. She has no emotions. She acts like the very awkward girl. Which is fine if that's the role that she's playing, but she doesn't play it